Hey folks, and welcome to the Daily Ratings Podcast. It's a show where each week we're going to be sitting down with Vincent Daly to get his thoughts on the latest movies he's been watching, both older films and new releases. And don't worry, there's no spoilers. Vince will give a brief review of the movie, share some thoughts, and of course, then rate the film. The daily ratings are always fair, honest, and most importantly, they're consistent. On today's show, Vince will be rating and reviewing. We have a condensed show here, but it is fantastic. It is for fantastic. We've got The Fantastic Four from 1994. That's directed by Ollie Sassone. And then we're covering a newly released, now in theaters, The Fantastic Four, First Steps. And that is directed by Mac Shackman. So let's dive into these Fantastic Four here. Let's hear what Vincent Daly has to say about them. Stay tuned and enjoy the show. Mr. Vincent Daly, how are we doing over there?
Oh, just fantastic.
You feeling fantastic? I was hoping you were going to say that. You're feeling fantastic, yes?
Fantastic. Oh, man. Not back-to-back superhero weeks. I'm glad we had Eddington as a little bit of a palate cleanser.
Yeah, we got some westerns in there.
Yeah.
And now we go back to the
the superhero.
Yeah, the marketable stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If anything, that's a great plug, folks. Check out both equally our Superman episode from 2 weeks ago, but also our Eddington episode. I really enjoyed that episode.
Me too. I like that too.
Yeah, we have some heavy hitters in there, and then Eddington is just like, what a doozy.
So basically, we have a condensed film here.
Yes.
Show, not film. And you are hot off Fantastic Four.
Yes. Right after watching it in the theaters, the feelings are fresh, the criticisms are fresh.
Can't wait. The notes are fresh.
Yeah, the notes are fresh. Folks, I'll go into just a second of what are the proper Fantastic Four movies we're missing from this week, but I did want to shout out, this is John Wayne July. We gave John Wayne, a lot of love this month, and a lot of good love, too. I feel like he's got a good batting average as far as the scores go.
He's doing well, I'll tell you what.
He's doing maybe better than expected.
It's almost like the entire purpose of this podcast. That was my goal of all
redemption.
of this. Of trying to push us to doing this.
It's great. So
wonderful.
obviously it's a two-spot this week. We were going to maybe fit a John Wayne in. The one that we're going to fit in is a movie called The Sons of Katie Elder, for somehow, some way, maybe being themed around four people. Tom, I have a follow-up question, but would you like to give maybe an elevator pitch of Sons of Katie Elder?
So,
and why is it four themed?
The Sons of Katie Elder, it's about the sons of Katie Elder, and it's four brothers.
Right.
It's
Okay.
four brothers, and they are the sons of Katie Elder.
Is John Wayne the dad or one of the brothers?
John Wayne. The dad's name is Bass, which I thought was pretty cool.
Nice.
Bass Elder.
Yeah.
John Wayne is the oldest brother. He plays John. And Dean Martin plays the second oldest brother called Tom.
Okay.
And then you have the other two brothers who are not as well-known actors.
Like, who knows?
But they have big parts. They have very big parts. Kind of a good movie.
So you've seen this one?
I've probably seen it 3-4 times.
Oh, damn. Okay. All right. So this
John
is
Wayne. Come on now.
The numbers, the hidden numbers, the hidden watch time.
I've started Sons of Katie Elder probably close to 10 times.
Oh.
But always, I don't know, I always get cut off, or I go going somewhere, or I fall asleep.
Classic.
So all the way through, probably 3 times.
Okay. All right. Well, my follow-up question is, and I'll guide you through the roster of the Fantastic Four.
Well, hold on. Actually, too, I want to get this out.
Yeah.
The movie, The Four Brothers with Mark Wahlberg.
Okay.
Kind of based on like a redo of Sons of Katie Elder in modern day, more urban setting.
You're right. Sure. Modern crime.
Taking you out of the desert,
It is a good premise of just like four brothers, powerful dad,
Great premise for a show based around the number 4. Are you kidding me? Anyway.
Well, we didn't get to it this week. All right, so the question is, and again, I'll guide you through the roster because I told you who Reed Richards was, and you were like, who?
So I was laughing last week, actually, because You know what? My lack of knowledge of Marvel is your lack of knowledge of sports movies.
Oh, 100%.
We totally share that.
Absolutely.
We totally share that.
Absolutely. And I feel like more embarrassing on my half of that. Because, like, it'd be easy to just brush up on some elementary sports knowledge.
Okay. Okay, so go ahead and give us the
prompt.
Yes. Treat us like we're kids.
The grand question. Well, no. My question to you is, who are the sons and Katie Elder to the Fantastic Four? So, all right, Reed Richards, smartest man in all of comics, Mr. Stretchy, Mr. Fantastic.
Yep, Stretch Armstrong.
Yes, Stretch Armstrong. We got
smartest man?
Oh, yeah, Reed Richards. I mean, definitely smartest man in Marvel. So arguably smartest man in all of comics.
Come on.
I swear to God.
What about...
That's what he's known for.
Of all comics?
Oh, I mean...
Marvel comics.
Yes, definitely all
we
Marvel.
just saw Mr. Terrific.
Yeah. Say, listen...
Okay.
I called Mr. Terrific a C-tier hero for a reason.
Wait, so you're telling me that the Stretch Armstrong guy, not his main ability isn't even that he can stretch to unbelievable things. He has like two main...
He was smart before. He was the smartest before. He was always the smartest.
Get out of here.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I guess that's a bombshell. All right, so maybe
it's
we
all
don't have...
Bombshell here.
Yeah.
So he's the smartest.
All right, we got Ben Grimm, the Thing, rock guy.
Yeah.
We got Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, fire.
Yep.
And then we got Sue Storm, Invisible Woman, force manipulation, powers, invisibility, things like that. So I guess who's Dean Martin, who's John Wayne?
And who are the other two? Okay. Okay. So smartest guy, the rock guy, the boulder guy.
Yep,
I almost want to make him John Wayne because he's just the biggest and he's just a bruiser.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't know if I can say that's John Wayne. But he's also a little bit like
headstrong. What
is he? Can he be? If let's say, could you picture the rock guy having a gambling addiction?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
Ben Grimm is tortured a little bit by his powers.
Okay, Dean Martin is the boulder guy.
Of course, Dean Martin is also the gambler in Katie Elder. Of course.
He does. Okay, so that's that. I would say the smartest guy would probably have to be John Wayne because he's the most. He's the elder statesman.
Oh, okay.
As he's John Elder.
Yep.
So that's that, and then we have
Torch,
Human Torch,
and Invisible
What's he
Woman.
known by? Being a hothead?
Yeah. Yes.
A
Playboy. He's the youngest of the group.
Okay, so that goes to the kid.
Okay.
Michael Anderson Jr. playing Bud Elder.
Okay.
And then
last, I guess, just gets the crumbs with Sue Storm.
Sue Storm would be Earl Holliman. Who's very inoffensive and quite good. And actually, you could almost say he's maybe the most level-headed.
All right.
But obviously, he's not John Wayne or Dean Martin, so his role is so smaller. Playing Matt Elder. That goes to Earl.
Wow. Okay, so that's the matchup to
That's it. I love it. I think that's a great question. Great setup.
I'm glad. All right, folks. Well,
I had another idea. I'm sorry.
No,
if
go
we're
for
just doing all the homework here in the beginning. I was laughing at the idea because remember I refused to put the searchers on the site?
Yes, yeah.
And in our master list that we call it, in our spreadsheet, we highlight that blue.
Right.
And blue just means needs in the rewatcher, something's off here. Because it's, again, some of the very initial batch we did now over 10 years ago, 12 years ago that we've been doing this. And I was thinking for like specials, if we run out of specials ideas or we just need to do something, we could do like the blue special, which is we go back in our blue highlighted ones.
Absolutely. And there's absolutely a list
there's
there.
Heavy hitters in there too.
Yeah, heavy hitters and just stuff I want to go over. I mean, honestly, going over some superhero scores in general over the last couple of weeks, I think Logan is a perfect example of that. Logan has a 68 on the site right now, and that doesn't sit right with me.
It doesn't sit right with me ever since I saw it. Ever since you gave it that.
Now, I do. Yeah, we definitely were doing
Now,
this.
that was pre-podcast.
Yeah.
But you were watching. We were in that couch. Those were the couch days.
Yeah.
So you were watching with a careful eye a little bit.
Yeah.
And putting scores to it.
I was trying to also like almost kind of define what movies and why what movies I thought were like excellent, and worth it no matter what.
Now you still might give it a 68 because the theming of Logan is phenomenal. I think when you go back and watch it, I've watched that now 3 times.
Really? Okay.
But when you go back to watch it, is it truly a great movie? Like, is it that good, or is it just like, well, it's just nice to get some type of
a little bit different,
and heavier,
rated R, absolutely.
Right, so the theming of it is great.
Yeah, true.
But those blue ones, no one really knows about actually, and we'll keep those hidden.
Yeah, blue light special, we'll call it.
Okay, any other opening notes? Any other things?
Well, yeah, let's talk about just the proper Fantastic Four movies that are not in this week. Yeah. We already covered the Josh Trank 2015 reboot on our Morbius episode way back when.
Yes.
talking about the worst superhero movies ever made. Really the brief recap of that failed project is that it tried to be a body horror superhero movie. Kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And then sadly just didn't go far enough in that concept, just pigeonholed by the studio.
And Miles Teller was the guy.
Reed Richards.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stick with Stretch Armstrong because that is
true.
Great. Yeah. I'm with that. We have this anomaly coming up from 1994 where the story around the movie is more interesting than the movie itself.
Yeah, I was doing a little bit of research too.
Yeah,
on this.
yeah. It really is something else.
It's just a studio move. It's just to keep the rights.
Yeah, absolutely. But the only thing remaining are the 2005 and 2007 movies with Jessica Alba. And, folks, if you're wondering why we aren't covering those this week, even if it made a round 4 movies to cover in Fantastic Four week, it just really has to do with me referring to them as the Jessica Alba version, and I just refuse to elaborate further than that. So.
Oh, she's beautiful in them. I could see that she made sense for Sue Storm in the aughts.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we're really not covering them just because we're pressed for time this week.
Yes, we're pressed for time.
That's all it is.
That's also one of those gateway movies when I was younger. So, but we'll leave that there for now. Let's go ahead and move on to this B movie spectacular.
Yeah, so it is just called The Fantastic Four. It is 1994. And why don't you get into that some of the production talk?
Sure.
I think a lot of people don't even realize that this exists. It's definitely not proper Marvel Studios stuff, but it is a superhero movie called The Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
It's one of those ones that are just always peppered in over the decades.
Yeah,
there's more than you think, and
Yeah.
they're always like shit.
Yeah, for sure. Well, because everyone talks about Raimi's Spider-Man. That's really the start of all superhero movies. It's just like, no, there was a lot attempted and failed, even before Batman. Tim Burton Batman. So super interesting.
So the director is Ali Sassone, and that'll be probably the last time we ever mention his name on this podcast.
Yeah, you can just go ahead and remove him from the database.
Get into it, The Fantastic Four, 94.
Well, once again, this superhero deep cut was provided by our producer, Matt D., as he seems to have a vault with anything I could possibly tie into new Marvel movies.
What a producer, by
Yeah,
the way.
absolutely.
What a producer.
Yeah.
That guy is great.
And a great example of, producing is more than just, monetary, him providing these movies is content,
It's incredible.
Great.
It's incredible. Thank you, Matt D. Thank you.
Absolutely. And also, just wait until the next Doctor Strange comes out, because there's a gem that he has. This is something else. This time, the pull is a bit more rare. This shit right here is an unreleased Fantastic Four movie made in the 90s, fully made in the 90s.
Totally completed.
No less by a German production company. I mean, it's true internet gold if there ever was one. It's estimated that they got this license a few years earlier than 94 for just $250,000 and teamed up with B-movie producer Roger Corman to get the movie made. Now, folks, piggybacking off of our talks about the Cannon Group during Superman Week, Corman is yet another important figure in the landscape of B-movies that I would really love to unpack sometime on a special, but kind of difficult because all the movies we would touch on would just be horrible B-movies, For now, just know that these players in the world of B-movies have a singular goal of turning out a product that is, above all else, cheap. B-movie or not, by 1993, a real-ass movie existed. And believe it or not, trailers for the film were even shown in theaters to excited fans.
Wow.
So why wasn't this released? Well, Stan Lee himself claims that it was done intentionally to keep the license from falling back to Marvel. Contrary from the organization you see from the MCU today, in modern day, Marvel Comics has a long history of flippant licensing in their properties to offset financial troubles. And in fact, it's the exact reason why Spider-Man has to be shared with Sony or Hulk can't have his own movie. And these licensing problems still exist in the background, and that brings us to the other side of the story here. Producer Avi Arad has a different story to tell around this, who would eventually be purchasing control of Marvel Studios in 1996. Apparently, he stepped in with a cash deal to take this movie off the release slate, and while by no means is it the first under-the-table deal in Hollywood, it's still pretty bold considering people saw a full trailer of this, It's not only done, there's a trailer out, there's hype, Unreal. A rad side of the story, contrary to Stan Lee, and it kind of begs the question why there are conflicting stories around this, is that he was on vacation wearing a Fantastic Four shirt when a fan told him he was excited for the new movie, a movie he was completely unaware of. Which is like, whoa, that's a crazy story. He then promptly made a phone call making the offer to tank it, and the rest is history. We never really got this full release until it was kind of circulated in Comic-Cons and on the internet, and that's how we actually got
But it didn't
this.
get... So was it properly not released? Was this... Because sometimes... they will have films in the holster. So this would be like, was it that Batgirl one where Brendan Fraser played the Bat Guy?
Oh, so true.
And it's insurance purposes because they can almost make some of the money back, or they would make more money at least
canceling
in
the project.
end, canceling the project than having a box office flop.
I think ultimately that could be in play for why this German production and Roger Corman took the deal ultimately to can it, because they could probably calculate, well we're getting the cash here, and then maybe these licensing purpose or these insurance purposes.
Because the budget of the film was $1 million.
Yeah.
It's reported to be $1 million. Because that does happen. Because it, like, I don't know. Maybe they would at least get back $500,000 through insurance or something like that.
Arad made it ultimately because even at the time, I mean, this is 2 years before he owns Marvel, he was still thinking in the mindset of like, what do we want as far as our image goes out there? You know,
Oh, well, sure.
Is it worth tanking this to maybe take a half step back and make a decent Fantastic Four, like the ones we got in 2005? I don't know if they're decent, but
it's true. It's only 10 years later.
Yeah,
When you think
exactly.
about it, 10 years ago, 2015, it seems like it was
Right.
6 months ago.
Yeah.
Very interesting jockeying, though, going on.
Yeah, really interesting stuff. And like I said, unfortunately more interesting than the story
Right.
itself. Fantastic Four 1994 is pretty functional as an origin story for the team. If anything, seriously, not too far off from that first 2005 version we got with Jessica Alba. We open up with a familiar sight of Reed Richards and Victor Von Doom collaborating on a science experiment together that will ultimately lay the foundation of their mutant powers. Without much context, we jump forward to see Reed putting together a team to travel to space and study the same passing comet that caused the accident, which still haunts him today. This team includes his best friend Ben Grimm, who's a pilot at least, and for some reason, the siblings of Johnny Storm and Sue Storm, who confusingly just all kind of live together in a boarding house. This is like so skipped past so quickly, and it's like I don't understand why they all just live together. It's really weird. Like Reed makes the offer in the doorway as like dinner is being served, and they're just like, hey, you want to come to space? After encountering the comet in space, the ship is sabotaged and causing them to crash land back on Earth, discovering each of them has mysterious powers. But Reed Richards isn't the smartest man in all of comics for no reason. Quickly piecing together someone with a vendetta might be behind this accident and closer to the danger than they expected. Folks, it took a while for this to set in, but it does eventually become like crazy bad out of nowhere. I think the first 30 minutes are just, they feel acceptable because it's just like they're going through the motions of this origin story. But at some point, it just starts taking massive leaps and then massive gallops forward, just making every scene feel horribly disconnected. Like the jumps in logic from we see the accident happen to Reed is putting a team together in outer space and then the crash happens is like it's done in 3 literal scenes back to back. Like there's no continuity in between. It's unreal. My takeaway from watching this, though, is it's really only acceptable if you know the origin story of Fantastic Four already, which was the exact opposite context this would have had being released in the 90s.
Sure.
But regardless of how disjointed it feels, it also isn't helped by just like taglines and catchphrases just shoveled into every line of dialogue. Like real talk, if modern MCU makes your skin crawl with quips, this will make you jump out of the building. It's unbelievable. They just thought at that point like these heroes have to say like it's clobbering time or flame on.
Yes,
you know what I mean? They just had to hit those notes, But between the later Superman movies we covered 2 weeks ago and some of those all-time low scores on the website, I do want to give the slightest bit of praise on what I enjoy. Tom shot me a look.
A look of surprise. I thought you were going to say Spig. I didn't realize you're saying you actually enjoyed this film.
Unfortunately, it's not a Spig. I know Matt D is probably as the patron saint of Spig. So bad it's good. I don't think it makes the cut. It's just kind of like a bad attempt at an origin superhero movie.
Okay. But the parts you did like
is the villains. I like hammy villains. Of course. You know, I already made the statement that a superhero movie is often only as good as its villain, and this is both Mole Man and Doctor Doom as just like classic Fantastic Four bad guys. I'll say it 1,000 times. I'm an easy sell on villains. Dr. Doom isn't super great in this, but they gave him a cool voice and let him be super hammy the whole runtime. He has this like almost like Power Rangers lair where he commands his underlings, and it's only shown through like a slit of light. You know, it's really enjoyable in like a hammy way. I also think like, let me do some damage control on Doctor Doom as a character. I mean, what do you think about Doctor Doom? You know him to be what? Wasted potential?
What do I know about Doctor Doom?
Yeah.
I think he sounds like one of the big baddies.
Yeah, right.
So,
but he's been done dirty time and time again.
Oh, okay.
In all of these movies.
I don't know what his superpower is. I know nothing about Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about this man.
He's just been trampled because he's always part of that Fantastic Four origin story. So
he's in every...
in the 05 and the 15... as like origin stories.
And the 94 now.
Yeah, and then the 94 now. And they just keep on trampling this guy. I mean,
okay.
Doom's a cool villain is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
You know, I think he deserves better.
Is he big? Is he mutant?
No, I don't want to go into so much of that. I just don't... The bridge here is I don't know if Robert Downey Jr. is going to have the goods to bring it together.
I forgot that's what they're doing with him.
Yeah, I know.
I have no idea what's... I mean, the recast... I just... On the news show and stuff, the recasting...
Iron Man and Captain America.
Well, and they're going to start doing everybody.
Yeah.
And then, but it's like, no, we'll keep Robert Downey. We'll just bring him for Doomsday. It's fine.
Yeah.
He sells tickets.
So true. He sells tickets. But all I'll say is that if he's done right, I still don't know if Robert Downey Jr. was the right choice for it.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll see. Folks, I was expecting some nightmarish VFX in this, being an early 90s B movie, but honestly, it did feel a little bit more acceptable than I thought. Not that it's great. It's not very good at all. There's a Power Rangers vibe.
It's like a Power Rangers show vibe. That totally makes sense for 94.
Cheap, a lot of kung fu, a lot of probably body doubles, actors that are there, they're probably not there at all, At worst, the CGI feels like, we'd get something from like, I don't know, pre-Jurassic Park, from 93. There's something there that's just like, it's not great, but also, like, nothing was great pre-Jurassic Park,
Yeah. There's something to that.
Yeah. Let's run down the team a little bit. Ben Grimm as the Thing. The suit looks like those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles live-action movies where all they could move is the upper lip and eyebrows and just, like, do it way too much. like way too much. The big finale in this is with Human Torch. And, again, not great, but... I think there's definitely an argument that before 93 we didn't get much good at all. Invisible Woman is real easy to just fade her out. I mean, it's just like, this is a perfect example of like, wow, you're really doing nothing with this character. But Mr. Fantastic, man, it's an uphill battle. I feel like he's done a little dirty in the new one. And I feel like, unfortunately...
Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, Stretch Armstrong.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Well, you're referring to him as the wrong name.
No, I've got Mr. Terrific in my head. I've got, you know what I mean?
You're right.
His name is, and he's got his real name. He's got Stretch Armstrong, and he's got his code name.
I'll try to stick to real names. But yeah, in this, it looks like they just got a couple resistance bands from the local gym and put it under his costume. Yeah. It's something else. But for what it's worth, though, not horrifically bad like we've seen on the podcast and covering these lost artifacts of superhero movies. It was better than the CBS Captain America.
Fantastic Four, duh.
What?
I'm sorry.
Wait. What are you connecting? This seems too fundamental for you to be connecting something.
No, his code name is Mr. Fantastic.
Mr. Fantastic.
It's
Fantastic.
like it's Ocean's 11. It's that kind of thing.
I'll take that connection. Yeah.
No,
yeah.
how is it not that?
No, it is.
It is the Fantastic Four, right? Because he's the point
right.
man.
Yes, he is.
He's the one who gets his team.
Right.
So they are the Fantastic Four, just like it's Ocean's 11.
Yep.
Okay, right. That's it. Is that like super obvious?
No, I don't think so.
It seems super obvious.
It's obvious, and I'm not. The more so the connection to Ocean's 11 is what's throwing me for a loop. But yes, in theory, yes.
It is okay. Gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, this is total B movie territory. But again, it's like. It's not better than, or it is better than the depths of what we've seen. Like, it's better than the Captain America CBS movies. It's way better than, like, something like Superman 4 Quest for Peace. But, ultimately still not very good at all. We're going to go ahead and give Fantastic Four 1994 a 24.
Okay, a 24%. That's what I like to see. Excellent. I in my head, I didn't even want to mention it because I just wanted to let you roll, but I was thinking, how does this compare with like 93 Super Mario movie, which you gave that, like a 53.
Yeah.
So that was much better than this.
Yeah, much better than this.
That was an actual movie.
Yeah, it's been a very long time since I've watched that now. That's going back to probably first year.
Yeah, very early podcast.
But I think I'll stand by what I said in that review in the sense that, like, that movie didn't work as a Mario movie, but was still kind of enjoyable and, like, what the hell did they make?
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Fantastic Four from 94 with a 24%. Very good, very good.
Always like the lows.
Always like to fill out the lows, I'll tell you what. Okay, folks, we got one more movie. Before we go to that movie, though, we want to thank our EP, or an executive producer of this episode, 197, and it's our monthly producer, Linda Schiller, coming in with a movie ticket for Vin every month. We appreciate it so much. It means the world to us for the consistency there. A great producer, executive producer, once again, here on episode 197. Anytime you want to write in a note, Linda, go for it, and we'll read that whether you've donated or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
With how much you produce. So, Vin and I, we are going off the value for value model here. We are not going to shove advertising in your face on this podcast. We're not going to have any tier structures or paywalls on the site, like you need to give us money to access content or get special extra content. Everything we do, everything that we kind of produce, it's out there for free, technically. But the idea is, if you're enjoying yourself, if you're listening to the podcast week after week or stopping in once in a while, if you're using the website to check out what's going on there, or you want to know if a movie's worth a watch, or you sit down one Saturday night, you go to the daily ratings instead of going to the horrible Rotten Tomatoes. We look at that as value in your pocket. Can you send us value back in our pocket? That's why it's value for value. The cool thing is that you can send in whatever donation of any amount that you want. It doesn't need to be a large donation. It can be whatever you want. So we have some fun set donations, like buy Vin a movie ticket. We also have the Gump Club, and we have some higher donations, but you also see a big value for value button there, which is basically, it's any amount you want. So we've gotten donations of $100. We've gotten donations of $3.93, which I love, from last week's producer. And then Linda gives a movie ticket for Vin, which is, I think, still $11.75.
That's great.
I need to check those numbers again.
But it went right to Fantastic Four. I mean, absolutely.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
As big or as small, $5, $50, or even $500. Everyone's on their own finances, and everybody's week to week is different, and that's why we're doing it this way. So, if you could, stop by thedailyratings.com and go to the donations tab. Everything right there is laid out for you. And when you send in a donation, when you become a producer, don't forget to send your producer note in. Just like in Hollywood, when you financially support a project, you're a producer of the project, and that's how we're doing it here as well. So your producer note, it could be questions, comments, critiques, start a conversation, add to a conversation. We want to bring you into the conversation because that's what being a producer is all about. So when you send us a donation, do send a note in our way. You can email us at tom.vin@thedailyratings.com. That's our email address. Linda, thank you so much. Your EP of 197. If you want to be an executive producer on next week's episode 198, like I said, it's dailyratings.com and head to the donations tab. Okay, Vin, let's step on into the theaters right away. I cannot wait to see the battle of the box office between this and Superman. And are they going to eat each other's lunch, or are they both just going to propel to success?
Yeah, true.
Because maybe it's just a superhero, it's a superhero month, and people are into it. The box office is doing very well this summer, I have to say. People are like, it's in the water. I always say it's getting into the water table again. Going to the movies could actually maybe be a Friday night, Saturday night thing again.
Yeah, absolutely.
At least for the summer. So anyway, it's just under 2 hours, which I really like to see.
Yes, I liked it as well.
And this is officially starting, correct me if I'm wrong, phase 6 of Marvel.
I think it's 6. Yeah, it's definitely not 7. But
no, and the thing is, I think Thunderbolts ended phase 5, right? So now we're starting phase 6 with this. And the next ones to come after this, we've got Avengers coming out next year.
I think so. I mean, we'll see if it gets pushed. It seems almost a little bit too quick to the punch on it, but yeah, it's slated.
I broke it down in one of the news shows a few months ago, and I confused myself by the end of it with all the different phases, how they do it.
Yeah.
There is some crazy science to it, but I just wish it makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, tell us how your watch was, and why don't you set up the Fantastic Four first steps?
Nearly back-to-back, both DC and Marvel have a lot riding on what will come next with their releases this year. Superman being the biggest hit for DC in years is a good omen for what's to come, even though it's maybe a little bit unclear what we'll get tonally moving forward with other projects. And now Fantastic Four First Steps is here, essentially being a pit maneuver for the MCU after having to abandon the setup of Kang and the wake of Jonathan Majors being canceled. I've been pretty hyped about this, though, believe it or not, and not for lack of superhero burnout. Though the term multiverse might make you want to throw up by this point, multiverse or alternate reality stories are really the gateway to truly some of the best movies that comic books have as a medium and what they have to offer. When I say I'm excited about the inclusion of Reed Richards and what it means for moving forward, it's because of some of the alternate reality stories and versions of Reed Richards that is possibly invited in with this way. The fact that we get in this movie a completely retro-futurist version of the world and pretty much only the Fantastic Four able to play in that sandbox, not only is it cool stylistically, and I really do particularly love what they did with the style here, but it's going to back up what Kevin Feige had as far as his most recent claims that we are going to get these reboots. We are going to get different takes on existing heroes that we've seen already. Multiverse doesn't mean them clashing all the heroes together. Multiverse, I feel like, is maybe the potential to get a solo superhero story in their own world that specifically doesn't have to interact with all the homework leading up. They finally can kind of cut the cord on the summer reading list that you have to walk into with all these movies.
That would be a very smart way to go.
Yeah.
That would be a very smart way to just have standalone, almost like the comics, just standalone comics.
Standalone worlds, and that's exactly what this is going for.
Yeah.
So if there's anything that, to your question of just like, how does this kick off the new phase, I think that's a good thing for this new phase.
Sure, there's also 2 Avengers films slated.
right. So it still connects. He's still gonna have the post credit. A little bit better in the direction, and certainly stylistically as well. This fantastic family's comfy life is uprooted, however, when 2 unexpected guests arrive. From the very start, we discover there is a new pregnancy on the team, with Sue Storm and Reed Richards unsure about the implications of their powers being handed down to a child. And much more sinister, the Silver Surfer arriving from the far reaches of space, heralding complete and total annihilation. The Earth has been marked for death, to be consumed by an eternal hunger of cosmic proportions, Galactus. In no time at all, the Fantastic Four are on the offensive to meet Galactus in space to stop whatever he is before getting to Earth, but finds he speaks of a strange prophecy somehow tied to Reed and Sue's new child, Franklin Richards. I got a lot to praise visually. And I got to kind of almost contain myself because I think visually and stylistically, this was like a knockout. I thought this was really like a great looking film. Stylistically, you're just like really imaginative in the design. And again, it's like them putting the Fantastic Four on their own like their own universe, their own reality. Best thing that they could have done.
Is that good? Does it feel important at all? Because it's you're not even on Earth. Why do I care?
No, you are on Earth, but it's just it's worth it because we don't have the baggage of like, hey, where are the Avengers while this is all going on?
Right, because we're just in the 60s.
Exactly. Exactly.
So you love the 60s style.
Yes.
Are you even saying that like the CGI looked good?
Yeah, I think the touches of this. I mean, we touched on it with Late Night with the Devil. We touched on it a little bit with Joker 2 of just like the approach to retroism. And almost like declaring like this being in the imaginary version of a decade, I think that really is awesome. They have a lot of fun with the style here.
Well, you know that this director, what's his name, Matt Shackman. Mm-hmm. So he's just a TV guy completely.
Yes.
He did a lot of TV. I mean, he's filmed something like over 40 episodes of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, really? Wow.
But he got into the Marvel pool because I think he did around 9 episodes of WandaVision, which also has that, it's like set in the 50s, right?
Yeah,
first
absolutely.
season, or at least, yeah.
Absolutely. It's very, very creative in that first season. I think it's only one season, actually. But basically spoofing other TV shows.
Right. So that's in him a little bit, that retro feel and look.
Absolutely. At least how to capture it on screen and whatnot. But seriously, if you enjoyed, like I said, some of the shout-outs, Late Night with the Devil, a little bit of the retroism in Joker 2, or in Joker, doing that 70s Gotham. If you like some of the cool retro tech choices in Alien Romulus recently, all of this is taken to tenfold in this movie. They really do like a knockout job, with visuals and world building.
Okay.
The retrofuturism is just so charming, extremely charming, and I think taking an older decade like the 60s and pairing that with the campiness of Fantastic Four was just perfect. The visual aesthetic in this film is not only gorgeous, but it is dialed in, and these little design touches are just endless. They're all over this thing. They use the Pan Am building as a set piece for being attacked by Mole Man. Computers are completely analog tech, including finally Herbie, the Fantastic Four's little bot teammate, and he runs completely on cassette tapes. It's awesome. Reed Richards runs like a public access science show, like Bill Nye or something like that. You got like retro ABC newscasts giving us story recaps, and then you also have like in-universe cartoons and toys giving us the cheesier elements of the Fantastic Four without having it come out of their mouth.
Yeah.
Really like you get the best of both worlds. It's great.
It just concerns me that we can't make movies that have cell phones in them.
Oh, true.
Like Ari Aster went for it. Like Ari Aster's going for it. But you have like director Robert Eggers. He's like, I will never ever make a movie where I have to use cell phones.
So true. They had to create a whole alternate universe.
Literally. It kind of scares me. It's like, oh no, I mean,
they're breaking the continuity of movies. You know how much I freak out about like world building.
Sure.
All of this is excellent world building because not only is it in the background, it's really if it doesn't work for you, it's not that in your face. It's just kind of in the background of like the of what's happening in the story, and really the plot can then focus on the tighter story of this family, how they react to the pregnancy. It's a very real stakes to the story, despite they're dealing with a galactic entity that wants to eat the world.
Yeah.
How they pulled it off, the juggling act that is I didn't think it was going to be possible, and I think they really did a really great job with it.
I mean, that's great to hear. I mean, I was thinking really bad things when I found out, 6 weeks before this came out, they're still editing the film after bad test screens.
Apparently, John Malkovich was a villain in it, and then they cut him entirely.
Yeah. And that was pretty late in the process, too. They just cut that guy out entirely.
Without knowing much about it, if it got us under that 2-hour mark, I think that's maybe worth it.
Yeah, sure.
But, yeah. But really impressed with the world building across the board. Let's talk about some VFX, because I think that's where I don't have complaints, but it's definitely something that is a little bit of a rough spot for the film at times. They're very sparing in showing Reed's stretchy powers. Stretch Armstrong does not stretch that much in this movie. And maybe for the best.
Probably for the best.
Yeah. And when they do show it, it's under very specific circumstances where it doesn't look stupid, and that can even be argued. There was a lot of chatter online how Ben Grimm looks is the thing, but honestly, I think he looked great in this. Occasionally, he looks a little bit too large in scenes, especially like casual scenes, but very minor. I would say the biggest glaring VFX is Johnny Storm as Human Torch. Once again, in casual scenes, almost when he's like half flame on.
Yeah.
The flames just don't look great. Like the half flames and the unaffected face of Joseph Quinn, I don't know.
Doesn't blend well.
Does not blend well. And you think that would blend well. That would be an easy thing to do. But I don't know. It's a tough one. I think I would probably feel the same about Human Torch even all the way back to 94. Yeah. It's just like, I don't know. Odd that they can't get this done. But on the positive end, Sue Storm definitely benefited most from like a visual upgrade. Sue Storm as Invisible Woman, hard to kind of do give oomph to. Here, they give her powers like this kind of light reflecting sheen. There's almost like a rainbow sheen around what she can manipulate. It's just way better than just invisibility. It's almost
like a drop of oil and water?
Yes. Think more like a rainbow reflecting off of light.
Okay.
Like in a water droplet or something. That kind of indicates her powers, and I think it's just a really simple but effective change to it, almost like creating like a gust of wind to something effective.
Yeah.
Give it some oomph.
It is interesting because it does happen. I mean, you got Frodo with the ring. How do you make an invisible guy? You have Harry Potter puts on that invisible cloak thing. That blanket he puts on him, right? It is a thing in film that comes up once in a while.
Strays from Harry Potter fans.
No, I mean,
actually, not. I'm going to bring up Harry Potter in just a second.
Oh.
So.
Excellent.
Great lead-in. For well over half of the runtime, I was a little iffy almost on all of them, but a positive that I think kind of put me over the top a little bit is the Fantastic Four. If there's something iconic about them, it's the combo moves. It's the, maybe Reed, wraps his arm around something and flings the thing or something like that.
Right.
Or, they team up in different ways. They bring back combo moves a lot in this, and they're not like called out. They just do them. It feels very natural. I think there's an understanding of what they wanted from the comics and what made a Fantastic Four feeling there. So, but folks, there's a lot more I can talk about, but I want to hold back for how much this story moves. Ralph Ineson may not be Snape in the new Harry Potter like I predicted, but his voice makes a pretty damn good Galactus. And I just love how quick we got to the punch on seeing him rather than just waiting around for the finale. I feel like I talked about a lot in that summary. That's honestly with all in like the first 20 minutes. We get the setup, and we're off to space, and they're taking the fight to Galactus to at least like hear what the stakes of the film are going to be, what the stakes of the story are going to be. And I think structure-wise, that's where I would recommend really checking this out. The team gets to space, Galactic lays down the deal, and the whole movie is what it should be: a team of superhero scientists problem-solving in the only way they know how. I'm happy to say that this was on the level of any of the good starter movies in the MCU, and dare I say, even captures a little bit of that Iron Man magic. And that's what's been desperately missing ever since Endgame. We're going to go ahead and give the Fantastic Four First Steps a 74.
Wow, a 74%.
Yeah.
Look,
really good, really solid.
For a superhero movie?
Yeah.
If you get into the 70s, I think we have to say you're just like, this is a good superhero movie.
I think so.
It's almost like a normal 80 for an episode.
Right, for any other movie.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Superman got a 70 even.
On the dot.
Yeah. So 74% for the Fantastic Four, and we'll see how it goes. Because I'll tell you what, man, against all odds then, is what you're telling me. I might have to watch this, is what you're telling me.
I think best case scenario, again, I think my blanket recommendation is that it's a pretty snappy story. And, you're in and out with it.
Yeah.
You don't need a lot to get attached to what they set up as well with, like, it's about the family. It's about kind of almost like a pregnancy scare. But when it comes to it, for you specifically, you don't have any homework to watch.
That's huge.
Jump in, jump out. And
that is like the biggest deal.
If they continue that for even half of the projects in Phase 6 and beyond,
it's something.
I think that's a winning formula. Like, I get that the key to MCU success has been the interconnectivity.
Yeah.
But
it will continue to be that.
It will be.
Again, this is the first movie in the next phase.
Yep.
So this can be an island on its own.
Sure. I just think they need anchors. They need anchors.
Yeah.
And this is finally. I mean, 2 phases have passed now with nothing even relatively close to this, honestly.
Absolutely declining.
Yeah.
I mean, they need this to be good. Marvel needs this so bad.
Yeah.
Because they have been on the downward slope since, I would say Black Widow. Since Black Widow, they've really been tanking, and that's now 5 years.
Exactly.
So they needed a win big time.
Yeah.
Because it just hasn't been paying off the way they needed it to. So, wow, 74%, that's big. That's big coming from you.
Absolutely. And I really mean this is probably the most successful pit maneuver we've seen, from corporate movies in forever. I mean, they were really setting up Kang. They had to change it up, and there was a lot riding on this, more than probably we even know. So
for sure. Also, they could have done a recast if they wanted for Kang.
Yes, so true.
Recasting everybody else now.
Yeah, exactly. It's also a thing like you say it's impossible until it happens.
Right.
Until Robert Downey Jr. walks out in Comic-Con. So.
But they did pivot. They pivoted hard.
Yeah.
After that debacle, and I will say with it's I still have. I just have no expectation, I think, ever, even going forward.
Sure.
For instance, they're filming the next Avengers film currently. They're filming right now.
Yep.
And it still doesn't have a completed script. Okay? These are not good things.
That's so crazy. That's like the previs we talked about, where like they have the visuals done before the movie is done.
It's very strange, which is something that James Gunn says happens. He goes, that's actually happens a lot with superhero movies. And he goes, now that he's at DC, he goes, we will not be doing that at DC. He goes, when the film starts production, the script will be done and completed.
Phenomenal.
You know what I mean? And the whole idea is that they had a script, but then there's rewrites, so it's not great, but they have the basic story structure down.
Yep.
So they can still film parts of it. It's a mess.
Sure.
Even so, all the casting wasn't done. It still might not be completely done.
Wow.
All the casting. That's not very exciting.
That's not exciting. That's not a recipe for success.
It's super
either.
hard to look forward to. But then again, like I said, they were doing reshoots on this, or they were doing at least massive edits and chopping this film up 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But to get that, I mean, that's good. Where we had, I think, a huge fail in 2 Marvel movies ago, which would have been Red Hulk. But right,
I love how you bookmark these movies. Stretch Armstrong, the Red Hulk movie. It's not Captain America anymore. This is Red Hulk movie.
But talking about reshoots, tanking, and problems with the film,
Yeah.
that did it no justice, and it seems like this actually helped it. Same thing with Superman. Test audiences were saying it was way too funny. It was way too much gun humor, and so they scaled it back. And I think we get an okay property, an okay film out of that. So okay, folks, hey, go get your ass to the theaters this summer. We're having an okay summer here.
Yeah, we're having an okay. And an okay summer also in the ones that I didn't think it would be okay.
Hey. And great news for me, because August seems like we're definitely taking not as big pictures coming out like we have in the past 2.5 months.
Right.
So IMAX is re-releasing F1 in IMAX in August.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to try to to see that in theaters.
Absolutely.
Because it's still in theaters, but it's
fighting for territory ultimately.
Well, and it's out of the top screens. So like you're not going to get it in Dolby or IMAX anymore.
Yep.
But they're bringing it back, so all good.
That's great.
Nothing but smiles over here, Vin.
Nothing but smiles.
So, anything you've got to add? Any questions I had here? Oh, I had a funny double header for the Fantastic Four 94.
Okay.
Which would be Lord of the Rings, War of the Rohirrim. Because it's all about keeping the rights.
It is about keeping the rights.
They had to make the movie to keep the rights.
Maybe that's more a compilation of keeping the rights films.
On Pedro Pascal, I want to talk about the cast a little bit.
Oh, sure.
Is Pedro too old, or just in general, are we sick of seeing him, or is he doing a good job?
I will say I'm a tiny bit sick of seeing him just because, it's not going to be everyone's experience, but I watch all the new movies. So
3 movies in 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's. I'm a little sick of seeing him. I will say he has me more sold on Reed Richards than when John Cranston played him as like that little cameo in the last Doctor Strange.
John Krasinski.
I think I combined Bryan Cranston and John Krasinski.
That doesn't make any sense. That'd be a movie.
John Krasinski. He played.
He would be terrible.
Yeah, I mean, looks wise, he has it, but I will say Pedro was better than him. That's what I.
So he was
say.
okay.
Yeah.
And I really like the actor. What's his name? Eben. Yeah, Eben.
Yes, from The Bear,
playing the rock guy.
Yeah.
And I just think he's good.
Yeah.
And if he makes a switch from TV and does some more films, I mean, he makes little appearances in films here or there, but this is by far a huge mark for him.
Huge. Even if he's under, a bunch of CGI and shit,
Right.
It's still good. I really do mean, though, like, as crazy and, galactic proportions this story is when you break it down.
Yeah.
It is, like, the plot is around, like, this tight-knit family that lives together. They do everything together. They've now been mutated over the last 4 years together, and it's like how does this pregnancy shake up that dynamic a little bit? And I think there's a smaller story at the source here,
That's something to hang on to.
Yeah.
For Marvel,
and like about these actors and how they interact as well. So.
One quick note with Superman. What you were happy to see with Superman is Superman was like saving lives, like even singular lives, not just a building or whatever, saving a city.
Right.
Was there some of that? Were we getting basic one-on-one saves?
In montage, in kind of like the editing recaps that you'd see either in like an ABC newscast or, you see a cartoon of things.
But kind of more of the same of what we usually get with Marvel.
Yeah, not the priority on saving people in the sense that Superman really had that in the DNA.
Right.
And
Okay.
from the Reeves, movies.
Very
of course.
true, very true.
Yeah.
Excellent, Vin. Well, looking at these two scores, anything you want to touch on, talk about next week? I mean, I really want to do Sons of Katie Elder now because I just want you to see the stereotype of the brothers and see how that blends. But I know we also have a big August ahead of us.
Well, I'll be coming back from a trip, but I believe on the slate is we're looking at Bad Guys 2, Together, which is that Alison Brie and James Franco horror movie.
Sure.
I obviously, kind of
There's buzz.
Yeah, a little buzz and like a little
Negative
controversy
buzz, yeah.
with the story behind that. And we'll see the big toss-up, the Naked Gun remake. I mean, we both like the trailer a lot, but we'll see.
Audiences in the theater like the trailer. That gets a good reaction.
I think I didn't see it specifically, but I guess they cut another trailer kind of poking fun that comedies aren't really made anymore in a big theater way. But, we'll see. I'm not saying that comedies are going to live and die if Naked Gun is good. The Naked Gun remake is good. I think I'm rooting for it. I'll say that.
Very good, Vin. Very good. Well, thank you so much for getting these movies in, stopping by here this evening, and those great reviews. Folks at home, we'll just run it down one more time. We've got The Fantastic Four with a 24%. 24%. I'm glad that we're in a great mood. You got a stinker on here, though.
Yeah.
24% for that. And then we have The Fantastic Four First Steps with a 74%. Big upgrade. Folks, as always, week after week, we thank you so much for coming back. We'll see you on Tuesday for the new show, and we'll see you right back here next Thursday for the Daily Ratings Podcast. And hey, if you enjoyed the podcast, if you would, give us a good rating or get the word out and tell a friend about us. Just a reminder that Daily Ratings is completely producer-supported. We want to stay away from advertising, and we don't want to have any paywalls or tier structures or subscriptions. It's all just value for value. So, are you finding value in what we're doing here at the Daily Ratings? Then become a producer and donate whatever amount of value that is. Just go to the donations tab on thedailyratings.com, and while you're there, be sure to check out the massive amount of films that Vince has rated. So thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you next time on the Daily Ratings Podcast.